Hello! Welcome to a new scene anatomy video. ARTURIA has released Pigments, a new wavetable synthesizer plugin for PC and Mac. Of course, wavetable synthesis is nothing groundbreaking new, but I think ARTURIA has introduced some cool new features in the Pigments plugin that should be highlighted in this video, so stay tuned! Pigments is the latest synthesizer plugin from ARTURIA, and the first from the French company that features 2 wavetables and up to 6 virtual analog oscillators. From my point of view, the oscillators are nothing brand new. Same engine exists in other plugins like Serum, SYNTH and many others. Also here you have FM, phase distortion, wave holding and much more. Same for the filters. Pigments offers a nice amount of great sounding filters from modern to vintage emulations like from the Mini V, the Matrix 12, the ZEM, but this can be found also in other wavetable synths. But there are other features in my opinion that brings the synthesizer more to shine than the oscillator and filter engine. One of these features that makes Pigments very own here are the color modulation matrix. As you can see here is the keyboard in rose, the envelopes in orange, the LFO in yellow, functions in green, random in mauve, combinator in darker rose and macros in blue. And what is here very cool and intuitive in my opinion is, for example, if you want to see where is my LFO1 mapped, you go on the LFO but doesn't click on it, and you see then where my LFO1 is on phase distortion, on the mount, then also in both cutoffs, what is here then very nice made. Also, for example, for LFO2 you see it's on the fine tune and on both pans of the filter. And for me this is a very helpful thing here, which gives you more an idea where the stuff is mapped and without seeing in a big list. And also if you check out the presets and want to see how this is made, you can see it very quickly without diving deep in a big modulation matrix, and it's here very nice made. Also for me a nice feature is here, if you press on the LFO you can just map it here. For example, I take cutoff and then you can map it like this, so it's very straightforward, very easy made here, and no hassle. And for example, I want here to modulate the filter routing, you go on it and then you put on it and you see it here directly in your modulation matrix, and it's very easy made and everybody will understand it. And its color design is for me a major upgrade for existing modulation matrix. One feature that becomes more and more important for me is the possibility to modulate near everything, and it's possible here in Pigments, compared to other software synthesizers where limits are still there. For example, I can modulate here the tuning, the different modifiers, the filter output, the volume, the filters itself with cutoff, the feedback here, the filter routings, the velocity, the voice pan, the scent level, but also the envelopes with the tag, the decay, so you can modulate them, you can modulate here the release, you can modulate the LFO waveform, the symmetry, so you can modulate really near everything. Also the random generators, the combinators, also the effect processors, what is not every time the effect. So here you can modulate the dry and wet, the frequencies, the size of the reverb, and much more. And also stuff like the rate of the sequencer, so you can modulate here so much. It remembers me more of a modular wavetable synthesizer, and it's a very good point because we live in 2018, and that's a feature that is very important because many users are using modular synthesizers, and that's a very cool feature to see in a software wavetable synth. One other powerful feature of pigments are the different modulators. As you know maybe from different synth communities, a synthesizer must have LFOs or many LFOs. And in pigments we have 3 LFOs. That's in my opinion not a lot, and even because they don't have a lot of waveforms. Also 3 envelopes are not that much, but the Arturia developers include here different things that can gives you more LFOs and envelopes. So first you have 3 function generators, and same as in the matrix 12 filter, you can also design here very own function generators. You can add here different points in it and then design very complex envelopes or even LFOs. So you can run it in one-shot mode or in a loop and a run mode. So in loop mode it's like an LFO. And then you can create here very deep shapes. You can customize how it works, and so this can you add then 3 more LFOs or 3 more envelopes. And so I would say it's maybe not a lot, 3 LFOs, but these 3 function generators gives you a lot of more possibilities here. Then of course you have 3 random generators. You have the Turing, sample and hold, and binary. But then you say, but I want more because it's more. I want more than in a modular system. Also, you have also here the combinator, and the combinate is a very cool feature here, which I really love. So it allows you to create very custom modulators beside the function generator. So for example, you can take here a source. It can be an envelope or an LFO or a random generator or expression, velocity. So for example, I take here an LFO, and you see here's your LFO waveform, but you can customize this. So I take here the mod. For example, I take here now a sample and hold. And what is happens now, there's the LFO which is summed up with the sample and hold. And then you get a very crazy LFO here. But you can also difference it. So you get other shapes, you can multiply it, you can divide it. So you see the waveforms become quite crazy. You can threshold it, you can lag it, and so you can create even more LFOs with a very different shape. And this can be done at 2 different points here. You have 1 and 2. For example, you can do this also with an envelope, and then creating more and more modulators. And this for me a feature that is here very cool in pigments, that gives you a lot of different possibilities, even if you have only 3 LFOs. One last feature that makes Pigments here very powerful is the sequencer section. You know that many synthesizer plugins has only a standard ARP or sequencer, but Pigments has here a polyrhythmic sequencer. So this means you can put different steps or different length steps to the pitch, octave, velocity, to the trigger probability, gate length and slide. For example, you can make pitch to 10 only, so you drop it like here. Then octaves you can put to 16, velocity only to 12, trigger probability you can put only to 2, or so you can create very complex sequences here, and that is not so typical in many of these synthesizers. I know some of them have them, others have more classical sequencers, and the results are always very nice and very creative. And it's also very cool to see that they built here also this trigger probability that allows you to create with every step a different way to trigger it. And also here powerful is that they added here a randomization feature, and you can put them the percentage how much randomization is on it. And there is a random feature on the left side here where it's constantly new generated sequences on the fly, and that can be very crazy, but to be honest also the results are not always the best, so it's really random how it sounds. So for example, I can take here 1 bar and then we run it. So you see this pitch will be constantly changed, but this can be then changed here. Also the velocity can be changed. I take here, for example, 50. The trigger probability I take it to 35. And so you can create very complex, also crazy, creative sequences. I hope you get a good feature and sound overview of Pigments. For me personally, Pigments sounds great, the sound quality is great, and also the feature set is nice. But all these features together is nothing groundbreaking. We have a lot of different wavetable synthesizers on the market. We have Serum, Icarus, SYNTHmaster and much more. And so for me, it's another wavetable synthesizer, but it doesn't break any ground. So it would be cool that ARTURIA has introduced more innovative features, but so see now Icarus or the PPG apps are more innovative in terms of features, but nonetheless, for me, Pigments is a great sounding wavetable synthesizer and the first very own synth from ARTURIA. And it would be cool to discuss with you in the comments below, what do you think about Pigments? Was it necessary to release it, or is it something for you? So it would be cool to discuss you in the comments below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please leave us a thumb and a subscription for more future videos. Big thanks for watching, and I'll be very soon in our next videos. Bye!